How we doing, everybody? Hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic. Welcome to the Pearson Podcast, episode, boom, 53. The Big Five Thrizzle. Like I said, I hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about NFTs, the MetaVerse, and the VeVeVerse and the VeVe app. And if you don't know what any of those mean, or just a few of those words, then hopefully I'll be filling you in. Now, right off the bat, thank you to all my listeners. If you're listening right now, God bless you. As you know, last episode was my big 5-2, my year anniversary. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's a very good episode. And I announced my Patreon. That will be in the description. Absolutely huge appreciation to anybody that can support me there. And that's in the description, as well as the link to Pearson Podcast Clips, the Clips channel. If you just want to see shorter videos of kind of the podcast, just, a little bit more of a digestible type piece of content. Man, I hate saying the word content, but that's just the word. It's kind of like NFT. Everybody is going to be hating saying the word NFT, but in the future, everybody's going to be saying NFT. Everybody's going to be saying content. That's what I'm thinking. So, just a recap of what I'm talking about in this episode. I'm going to be talking about my week NFT haul, the NFTs I've gotten. I'm going to be talking about NFTs as a whole, kind of a broad blanket over all of it. I'm going to be talking about VeVe. I'm going to be talking about the VeVe Ask Me Anything conference that they had. I'm going to be kind of just running through kind of the things that they were talking about. And I'm going to be talking about, I'm actually realizing that. Okay, so my thoughts on VeVe, I kind of put the MetaVerse and everything inside of there. So I'm going to be talking about what would be cool coming out of VeVe as well. So we'll try and make this an hour, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't have too much notes, but I'm going to try and make it happen. So sit back, relax, grab a brew, grab a whatever you want to indulge in, and let's get right into my NFT haul this week. So it was a pretty, not much happened. I got 2 NFTs. So start with the little bit of a smaller one. I got 2, so and they both have some fun stories behind it. So, yesterday on VeVe was the Mermicano, I think that's what it's called. It's like this unicorn mermaid hybrid type thing. And I thought they were really cool. They look good. And for whatever reason, I had this weird good feeling about it ever since I saw it. One, I love the blind drops. Those are my favorite because I tend to get those almost every time. If you're wondering what I do, I delete all my files on the app. I put my phone into airplane mode, and I use the zoom feature. You can tap 3 times, zoom in on where the buy now button is, and then I use 2 fingers. And I'm very quick with tapping, so with all those, and I go downstairs close to the router, and with all those combined, I almost get them every single time. So I like the blind boxes because there's a lot more I can do to make their higher chances. So I got the Mermicano, got it, off the drop, no need for a rebound or anything. I got a common Coraline. Now here's the thing. Here's kind of the story about it. No particularly, like I said, rare rarity is a common, and no low serial. I think it was like serial number 3363, something like that. The market bugged, and it only allowed. I wasn't paying attention to many other of the Americanos, but I think almost all of them had this basically to where only a certain amount of people could list them, which is very annoying because that means the prices were absurd. The prices got at the high, they were selling for thousands, 2,400. But they were for many, I think probably the whole time 10 to 20 people were able to list or attempted to list. Because I was trying all day, because I knew if I was one of the lucky few that was able to list, then I would be able to make some crazy profit. Because spoiler alert, right now they're at like 18 to 20 gems. So, from guaranteed selling almost instantly for like 1,000 to now they're 20. It's like, but yeah, so that was a little annoying for sure, because now the market's all messed up because everybody is listing at one time. So there's like 1,200 listed, and yeah, kind of annoying, but I like the way this Coraline looks. It's clean. It's got this red nice thing, and in the showroom, so the metallic parts have this kind of bloom where it's a glow or glare on it. It looks nice. So I'm probably just gonna save it because it was only $16. Probably just gonna save it for the future. So I don't even know what these Murmercanos are. Like, I probably should do some research into them, but all I know is you buy them. So that was the one. Now, that was the only. There was, I think, 2 comic drops this week, and I missed both. So I heard this guy on YouTube. His name is Johnny Dunn, and I recently subscribed to him because he's just really knowledgeable about crypto, NFTs, and VeVe especially. And he's been in the app for a long time. And kind of lost my train of thought. Before I move on, I'm going to open my transcriber so I don't lose thought. Again, if you're new to the podcast, you'll know, or you won't know, that my brain hops around hopelessly, and having this transcriber to where it just tells me what I'm saying, in case I get lost, I can look down at this and then I find my way back. So, if only I could. Okay, so Johnny Dunn. He knows a lot about VeVe. Sorry, I had a burp there. He knows a lot about VeVe. He is incredibly, like I said, knowledgeable about everything NFT and VeVe especially. He's huge on VeVe and the MetaVerse and everything like that. And I was watching him live, and he mentioned that when the MetaVerse or any of these verses come out, you're going to be able to most likely, and this was backed by Mark Zuckerberg as well in the whole MetaVerse video, is you're going to be able to be the character of your NFT. Now, if you know anything about 3D modeling, there can be some complications in that, because that means there has to be some sort of automatic skeleton, auto rigger, to rig, the arms to move with your arms and the head and everything like that. And obviously, if you have some NFT character that has the, say a giant or something, or maybe something that isn't in human form, it's going to be hard because your scale's, smaller or bigger than the NFT. But and if you know anything about 3D modeling, then you already know what I'm talking about, and I'll move on. So, but of course, that's, the metaverse maybe is 5-10 years from now. So they already have really good auto riggers through softwares like Mixamo and things like that. So by then, they'll probably have a pretty amazing auto rigger. So he mentioned in this live stream that in the metaverse, you probably will be able to drive these NFT cars. And that makes a lot of sense. So, long story short, is they have these Back to the Future Deloreans, the first appearances on VeVe. And what really caught my eye is I believe there are 3 rarities: common, rare, and ultra rare. And the common is, I believe, okay, so it's easier if I start at the ultra rare. Ultra rare is the Delorean and if you tap on them, the doors come up. Rare is just the DeLorean as it is. And the common is a 1:6 scale DeLorean, but the doors don't open like the rare. But what makes me really think that these are going to be valuable is they make sure to say 1:1 scale for the rare and ultra rare. That means it's the actual size of the DeLorean. If you're putting it in a virtual world, it would be the actual size of a car. So, and the rare was 100 gems, $100. So, what basically I thought is I'm gonna pick one of these up, because once people find out, if this happens, once people find out that you're able to drive these, then obviously the price is going to go absolutely ballistic. So I'm like, and this is what I do with a lot of collectibles when I go, is I look through and I try and find some that have low serial numbers for the floor price. Because if you have a low serial number, it's basically guaranteed. I mean, depending on how low, it's basically guaranteed to at least double the floor price, but more like triple or quadruple it. So I just see these DeLoreans are crazy cheap, in my opinion. 100 gems for this first appearance Back to the Future 1:1 scale car. And so I'm looking through low serial numbers, and I see something like a 995, and there's 25,000 editions of this particular rare one. So you guys give some perspective. So I see a 995, number 995, for 199, and I'm like, double the price, double the floor price for a decent serial number. 3 digits out of a 5-digit drop is good. 3 digits in basically any drop is good. So I'm like, 199. I'm going back and forth because this is $200. This isn't. It's everybody. They make it seem. They desensitize it by saying gems as opposed to dollars. But it's dollars, and I'm like, $200 for some. I'm just like, I know I would regret it. $200 I know is a lot right now, but it for sure is going to go up in the future, and I need to pull the trigger on this. So I'm going back and forth for probably an hour. I keep checking, it's still there. I'm like, wow, it hasn't sold. And finally, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get it for sure. This is the right choice. I have a bunch of extra gems. Let me pull the trigger. I go there, sort by low serial number, and then see a 410 for the same price. Boom, buy it, mine. Now I have a 400 410 rare 1-to-1 scale Delorean. Now, hopefully, if I said that 20 years from now, people would be blown away. Because I'm banking on having this metaverse and NFT and crypto be a huge, huge, huge part of the future. And I truly believe that. So if you know anything about that, you know that might be a fun thing. And by the way, I bought it for $199, or the floor price. I bought it when the floor price was 100 bones. Okay, the next day the floor price goes to 145. If you know, if you're on VeVe, you notice that the whole VeVe market, like all the prices skyrocketed, like everything. So it really was lucky. Even if I was just going to resell it right now, I could at least get $100 more than what I paid for it. I could sell it for $300 right now. And maybe it'd be a good idea if I want quick guaranteed profit, but I'm in crypto, NFTs, and at least the NFTs that I'm truly, truly behind. Like I'll tell you the ones that I won't sell anytime soon. I'll tell you that right now. One of them is the Golden Moments Iron Man. I got that off the drop. And the Delorean, I have two Day of the Dead uncommons and one common Santa, the USPS Christmas drop, and then the common Snow Globe, 1814 for that as well. And anything in the 1800s for the USPS ones are very good, because the 1879, either 79 or 77 was the first year the USPS opened. And that's the thing you have to look into every time there's a drop, because some serial numbers are a lot bigger than others, like I think in Iron Man, there was a saying like, I love you 3000 or something like that. So the number 3000 of the Iron Man is sought after, and things along those lines. Obviously the year that it started, all that jazz. So yeah, VeVe market has been exploding, and I got those 2 NFTs this week. Moving on to NFTs as a whole. So right off the bat, like I told you, I think they're the future. I think that it is going to be something that just everybody says. Everybody says NFT, right? Right now, you hear NFT and you're like, ugh. But in the future, I feel like NFT is going to be a common term. Yeah, I've got the NFT, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe they're going to have a better name for the NFT. Maybe a digital, something easier. And NFT kind of flows off the tongue, kind of, but I don't know. I feel like there would be some digital asset, I don't know, something that kind of is easier to morph into conversation. But nonetheless, I think, just like the internet, because if you think about this right now, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll get into this a little deeper when I talk about the metaverse, but we're technically in some sort of weird dimension right now. You watching this video and me talking to you in this video. When you're watching this video, and we can get into, I know this is deep and weird and whatever, but where is your consciousness when you're sitting there watching this video? Is your consciousness, in the chair or bed or whatever you're laying in? Or is it inside of the video somehow? And I know, just bear with me. I know. for some, when you're looking through Facebook, it's almost like your peripheral vision. Like, you can feel yourself, you're sitting in your bed. Let's just say you're laying in bed watching on your phone. You can feel that you're really comfortable. You're chilling. You can feel maybe your wrists start to get sore from holding your phone up or something like that. But peripherals aside, the majority of your mind's attention is in the now, and the now for you in this particular instance is inside of this video. So that's why I think it's almost like this internet thing is already some sort of metaverse. The internet isn't a physical thing you can touch. I don't know if you didn't know that. The internet is just, what is the internet? It's just something that on your phone is like it's like a portal, I'm looking at my phone through it, and I can see the internet behind it. But then if I turn my phone, oh, there's nothing on the other side. So that's why I think this metaverse thing really, metaverse, digital collections, crypto's the same thing, money just floating around on this invisible blockchain through the sky. It really is something. So just, right off the bat, letting you guys know, I think it's the future. Just like how the internet was like, what's this internet thing? What's this YouTube thing? What's this Netflix thing? What's this NFT thing? Only I think the NFT thing is going to be very significant. So, let me just give you some stats, and right off the bat, I just Googled these and got them from different sources and compiled them to kind of make this, but it should be roughly accurate. And this is for the United States. 86% of Americans have heard about crypto. 24% know a lot about it, or at least heard a lot about it, decent amount. They're decently knowledgeable of what it is. 20% of people have heard about NFTs, and 12% actually know what they are. And so those are just some facts to kind of bring you up to speed of where the world is standing currently, or at least America. So this means that most people that know a lot about crypto know about NFTs. And sorry, it's always difficult when I'm reading my notes and trying to act like I'm saying that off the top of my head, but it's just me reading my notes here. Now the phrase NFT just started a couple of years ago, ladies and gentlemen, and look how far it has come already. Like, if you're on the internet and you know anything about following people about crypto and stuff, they're going to talk about NFTs. I think 2022 is going to be a very big year on NFTs. I truly believe that. So that was me talking about NFTs as a whole. Now, this is going to be me talking about VeVe. I guess first I'll talk about the MetaVerse and these, VeVeVerse and the verses. So, the VeVeVerse, the MetaVerse, all these verses. Now, my thinking is the only way that there could be a true successful virtual universe, is it would have to have one big company to rule them all, or have them all work together. Kind of like if you guys have ever seen Ready Player One, there was this one thing that they all went into. Now, if you get into the in the realm of different verses, then I feel like there will definitely be fads. There will be things where people are like, oh, you're kind of like it is now with teens, where it's like Facebook's old, Instagram is honestly getting a little old too now, but people are still on Instagram, and which is ironic because Facebook owns Instagram, but it's kind of like, say Instagram was a metaverse and Facebook was a metaverse. If you were on the Facebook metaverse, you'd be like, what are you doing on there? It's all about the Instagram metaverse right now, There's going to be things like that. If there's a VeVeVerse and a MetaVerse, there are going to be people that probably always aren't behind VeVe, and always they hate Facebook. They're not going to go on MetaVerse. So if you get people like that, and you're always competing for people to go on your verse, and I hate saying verse over all this time, but there's probably going to be a word for some sort of metaverse, like I Meta got lucky by calling themselves Meta, because the metaverse is something that I feel like people would use the word of even if the company wasn't Meta, like I am in the metaverse. Sorry, I'm yawning. I went on a hike, kind of tired. Where's my mouse? Okay. So that's the problem with having all these different virtual universes, is I feel like to have a true virtual society one day it's going to have to be one big one, which seems like the metaverse could be. It seems like Facebook's Meta could be the big one. And that's the thing. I hope that one just gets so big that other companies don't have a choice. But obviously, I know everybody's got a problem with Facebook, and believe me, I am not a Facebook enthusiast by any means. But hopefully, they get their stuff together and do this the right way. Because I truly believe that they want what's best in our interest and in theirs. So hopefully they make the right decisions there. Now, another problem that I see with these virtual universes is sorry. Another problem is, now, I don't know if you guys have ever used a virtual reality machine, but a couple things. One is they're awesome. Even the Oculus Quest 2, which is from Meta, Facebook. Even if you use that, which it's great, not necessarily a high resolution or high refresh rate or anything, it is still mind-blowing. So one, it's insane, and it's only going to get better. It's only going to get higher resolution, higher field of view, higher refresh rate, more comfortable, everything like that, So, but the problem with it is, and I've said this before, sorry if you can hear that motor in the back. I've said this before, but it's almost too good. And what I mean by that is, and I need to deep think about exactly how to describe this the best way, but it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, like, where is your conscious right now when you're watching this video? And this is just you watching, a little phone. If you're immersed, I believe that depending on how much you are open to it, like me personally, I really try and immerse myself a lot, like I really try and believe that this is real and everything like that. It's kind of like maybe with ghosts, like you have to really truly believe in ghosts for them to be there. Now, I don't know anything about that. I don't necessarily believe in ghosts. I don't not believe. I just, things like that. It's kind of like, but I do know regarding ghosts, and I just remembered my little brother Jax, he completely believes, and the stories that I've heard him and the amount he believes makes it to where these, whatever you want to call them, spirits, entities, ghosts, can show themselves to him a lot easier. Now I may be losing you, and I get you, but the stories that he's told me are absolutely insane. If you want to watch them, they are on this podcast. I'm not exactly sure which one. I believe he was on. I believe it might have been episode 3. I believe, but it should be in the title, Ghost Stories, something like that. But my why I bring this up is just having the open-mindedness to want to believe is what really trips me out, because when I take off the virtual reality goggles or whatever, I get this really, really weird feeling. Like I still, when I've taken them off, I still have some sort of goggle on. And I'm walking through world, I'm like, oh, I can touch and interact with this thing. I can feel it. I'm walking. I bear with me. I know this is trippy talk, but I like trippy talk. Because life is trippy. Life is Fibonacci. Now, so that's my only thing. And on the contrary, Jack's the same person who is so open to ghosts. He can be on that virtual reality for hours at a time and take it off and be completely fine. Now, he plays a lot more video games than I do, so maybe it's because he's used to it, or I don't know, but if I did it, one time the first time I got the virtual reality, I was on it for probably half an hour or something. I took it off and I was so dizzy, nauseous, sick for hours. And that's normal, I think, but that's just, that'll happen. So I think that there's some sort of issue with people not being able to have the goggles on for too long, especially, and this is the biggest thing that will always be the hindrance to virtual reality. Lack of space. People, like I barely have enough space in my house to do the virtual reality. We have like a probably 5 to 4 foot by 5 to 4 foot kind of square area we could do it in. And that's like just about, even that gets a little small sometimes. And so, but that and a couple of the other things is, one is moving, walking. To walk right now, you either have to point at an area and click and teleport, which that sucks. And the other one is you just use a standard joystick, you hold forward, you walk forward. Now, that can be disorienting because you're holding forward, and the first time I did it, I held forward, my guy went forward, I almost fell back because I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Your brain thinks you're moving forward, but your body is staying put. So that's the thing that causes the motion sickness. So right off the bat, it causes motion sickness and it's not immersive. Now, the other thing is having to interact with things. Like in a virtual world, say if my phone was in the virtual world, I could pass my hand right through it, because to make it not, there would have to be some force field right here to make it to where my hand doesn't go through. Now, that is going to be something that the only way I think that would be combated is if you had to put a whole body suit on, a full body suit covering each finger, your entire body, everything, and somehow have some sort of exoskeleton in it. And when you push something, there's resistance, there's maybe the exoskeleton won't allow you to move your arm this way, but then you're going to run into all these different things. So that is the only way, unless we invent some sort of force field thing that can just appear and disappear and link exactly in real time with the virtual world. Those two ways are the only ways I think it could happen. Now, trippy stuff, ladies and gentlemen, but that's what you can expect at the Pearson podcast. Now, my thoughts on VeVe, and I'll tell you right now, if you couldn't already tell, I am biased because I'm invested in all these things, and I want all these things to work. But my thoughts is I think VeVe will become the biggest NFT platform, bigger than, OpenSea and all that jazz, because, especially if a plebeian like me will be able to upload on there one day, then they've got the market monopolized, because right now they have the biggest stars. They've got the big boys, Marvel, Coca-Cola, DC, all these Disney, name it, they probably have it. They have giant companies. So if they make it to where, and they've gamified it, there's a market, there's gems, there's a showroom. It's hard to explain if you don't know it, but there's a showroom in it where you get, say, my Iron Man. I can take my Iron Man and put him in, it almost looks like a penthouse. It's just this cool showroom / vault, and you can just put your characters in it. You can make them small and big and rotate them and just put them all around in this little room, take pictures of them. There's an augmented reality version to where you can take your phone and look around through the camera and see it sitting on your floor, something like that. So I think VeVe is going to be the top dog. And when and if VeVe becomes the top dog, things are going to get pricey. This is my recommendation, and this isn't financial advice. That's what everybody says. This is not financial advice, but this is just what I would do if I was in your shoes. Not financial advice. I would get on VeVe. I would try and get a drop. Get a drop. If you don't want to keep it, sell it. You have guaranteed profit, but I would get on this VeVe train if I were you. And if you're interested in making money or just collecting these cool NFTs, this is the biggest problem with people not saying or not thinking VeVe is legitimate, though. There's no money withdrawal function. I know that is obviously a huge downside. It is implemented for some people. They're slowly rolling it out in waves of small groups. But right now, it is not open to anybody to withdraw. So if I wanted to withdraw my gems, I would have to do it against their terms of service and send the gems to someone. They send me money or something like that. You're not allowed to do that within their terms of service, which makes sense because you can easily be scammed that way. Sorry if you... my mic makes noises when I move it, but so that's the biggest thing. But if you do your research on this VeVe thing, you're not risking a lot. One, I've only put $140 of my own money in it, and I'm at around $3,000 profit. 3,000 gems, that's what people would say. It's like, this is not profit. You can't even take your money out, you know? You're not risking a lot, and this is the biggest thing. Disney is one of the biggest companies in the entire ding-dong world. Do you really think that they would risk their public perception in getting caught up in this scam? Because if VeVe, say you're like, VeVe, what if VeVe never implements a withdrawal function? Then it's a scam. It's as simple as that. It's a scam. There's no point. I mean, people have the right to sell their NFTs for actual money that they can spend things on. So it's a scam. So here you'd be saying Disney and all these other companies, Coca-Cola, Marvel, DC, all these huge companies, DreamWorks, Lionsgate, everything, have been backing a scam. No way, Jose. That is not going to happen. And if it does, it'll go down in the history books, but I have my high doubts on that. Now, yeah, so it's got the biggest NFTs. I believe it's going to be the biggest NFT platform. The VeVeVerse will be awesome. Yeah, I mean, so let me go through the conference, couple of things that or a few things that that they were talking about. So VeVe this last year beat their 4-year projection. So to people saying, oh, the withdrawal function, all this stuff was supposed to happen sooner, they have had 4 times the amount of, or not even 4 times the amount of growth, way more than that. They've had their 4-year prediction in this 1 year. Okay. So it's honestly a miracle that they're even doing as well as they're doing, in my opinion. Because they expected this year to be the year, what would it be, 22, 23, 24, 2024, 2025 in last year, okay? So the fact that, they think the withdrawal function will be probably in, I think they said like March, something like that, which, yes, it's annoying, but it is what it is. The fact that all these things are delayed, it makes sense. I mean, that's insane. That's what I'm talking about, exponential growth. I mean, that's what I call exponential growth, if you ask me. That's insane. And if it grew that fast in 1 year, imagine this year. You know what I mean? I would, not financial advice, I would get some of the Disney I would get some of the golden moments, for sure. The Delorean, there's so many first appearances, Harley Quinn, Batman, Spider-Man, like amazing stuff on there. I mean, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, the first Disney drops, the first government, United States government NFTs. I have 3 of them. Like, this is huge stuff. I mean, the first Batman NFT, the first Spider-Man NFT. I mean, Back to the Future, there's huge ones. I mean, look, I'm missing a bunch. That's another thing. It's like I'm missing so many. There's so many drops. And this market is open where you can buy something that could be $1,000 for $16 right now, you know? You just have to kind of use the old noggin and think for yourself, you know? So another thing is Showroom V3 is coming out with some big things. Don't know what that is, or they said it was secret, so Showroom V3 is coming. They said big things coming. Cool. More things coming to the effect of real world things, like receiving a physical item, or things like what they did with the James Bond movie. James Bond released this drop where it was, I think, only 8 editions, and they were selling for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think one's even sold for like $3 million or something like that. It's insane. And that was just if you got that, then you got 8 movie tickets or something like that to see the James Bond movie early. So they're going to be doing more things like that. Withdraw function is being rolled out slowly in waves of groups. I believe, I'm not sure. See, this conference thing, they were doing it over Twitter communicate thing, and all these guys, you'd think they're tech nerds, so they would have good microphones, but all their microphones were super quiet and super bad quality. So it was hard to tell, but I thought I heard there was an easier user interface coming. Easier to use and easier on the eyes. They said around 250,000 bot accounts have been blocked or restricted. Comics in the showrooms are coming. Oh yeah, and by the way, for these last couple, thank you to VeVeVerse for helping me out with some of these things. So comics in the showrooms. The withdrawal function got delayed, like I said. I think March is what they're aiming for now. January, February, March, yeah. They are unlocking new regions of the world. So I don't exactly know which regions are open now. I know obviously United States, maybe Canada, Mexico, and maybe Europe. Yeah, I think Europe, Ireland, all those places. But, you know, they're doing Russia, they're doing probably Australia, and all these huge regions that are just left in the dust right now. So, so that'll be huge, making it to where the whole ding-dong world can do it. But, you know, this takes a long time because with all these different governments, there has to be some huge hassle with getting these things approved. New collectible. So a new collectible type is coming. And this is for you guys to think and maybe tell me in the comments what you think it could be. They said a new type of collectible is coming. It's not going to be 3D, and it's not going to be a comic. Now, my dad said maybe like music albums, maybe like cards, Pokemon cards, crap like that. Maybe videos, who knows, but yeah, that sounds interesting, and that leaves some, you know, just to think about what the F it could be. So a desktop app is coming. Now, I know what you thought, bots. I pray they don't make it to where you can get bots on there. Even though I can click crazy quick with my mouse. Crazy quick. The bots can click faster. And if you're hooked to a desktop, there's no stopping the bots. There's just no stopping the bots. So I pray it's just on the phone and that's it. But I hopefully you are able to, go into your showroom on the desktop and maybe use the marketplace on the desktop. But bots even use it to go on the marketplace. Bots, it isn't only getting drops. The bots can be like, you can program it to buy anything that's under 50% of the floor price. So if it gets listed, it automatically is bought. So that's annoying. They have 4x'd the amount of developers working on the app. That's great. James Bond, that ticket thing I told you about earlier, that was a test, and there will be more real world utility, as well as the movie tickets, real world utility coming. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Disney Moments, if you got those Disney Moments, then you received 3 free months of Disney Plus, which is super fun. So yeah. So ending off, so let's say I'm about 50 minutes right now. I can do another 10. That's totally possible. So this is what I think would be super awesome for them to bring to the table in VeVe. And you can be thinking about this as I'm going forward, but I'm gonna ask you after to let me know in the comments what you think would be cool for them to do. So this is what I would think would be cool. More old movie collectibles. Now, a couple that I thought of is Terminator. He terminates tomatoes. Terminator, Rambo, 300. Now, why I think these could be huge is, and Indiana Jones, things like this. I think these could be huge because you could have, say, Terminator. You could have Arnold Schwarzenegger back it, quote unquote, co-sign it. Have his likeness. It'll be of the Terminator and everything, blind box, different rarities. I think that would be so freaking sick. But having all these celebrities, the actors that played these roles backing these, will boost the prices immensely. Obviously, Sylvester Stallone, the 300, like these would be so awesome. I mean, just so yeah. Let me know if there's anything you guys can think of on that stance. But also old TV shows or TV shows right now. Breaking Bad, The Office would be amazing. Now, this is probably the number one I would be looking forward to. SpongeBob. SpongeBob NFTs, the first appearance of SpongeBob. I'd get down with that. That's for sure. I think I hear the ice cream man. It's like the middle of winter. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, let me know if you guys have any ideas of what you think would be cool. I mean, the possibilities are endless, Nickelodeon drops, that would be so cool. Let's see. Fairly Odd Parents, Rugrats, iCarly. I mean, it's endless, all these cool little things. It's so fun. Having states as an NFT, I don't know. I mean, having the Earth be an NFT, Earth NFTs, having like I said, states, countries. It's so weird having an Alaska NFT. You know what I mean? Like, the possibilities are endless, ladies and gentlemen. Plant NFTs. And then you get into the realm of who owns the rights of a plant, who owns the rights of a country or whatever. Presidential NFTs, you know what I mean? Celebrity NFTs. I can go on, ladies and gentlemen. But that's why I think it's the future, though, because you can say anything. Apple NFT, iMac NFT, iPhone NFT, you know? I'm trying to think of other stuff, but it's very fun. It's a very fun thing, and it's a very fun future we have ahead of us, folks. Well, I think that's about all I have to say on that note. I mean, NFTs, I hope I look back on this podcast and I'm like, wow, I was right. Crap has gotten crazy. And yeah, it's just so weird to think about the future, you know, like with all these things like Bitcoin, you could have bought it for cents so many years. You could buy $1 worth of Bitcoins and be a multi-millionaire, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. With things like this, you know, the possibilities are endless. That's the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen. The possibilities are endless. That's what makes it so exciting, because especially when this MetaVerse video came out, and if you guys haven't seen it, I recommend it, because it's Mark Zuckerberg. Love him or hate him, but the video is pretty cool, and they basically use visual effects to show what the metaverse could be like. So it's a green screen, but he's put into the metaverse, so to speak. And it's really well done. The effects are great, but they accomplish the goal of just trying to get people excited for this thing. Get people excited for what the idea of what the metaverse could be. Yeah. It's like an hour long too. I mean, but it's like one of those things where it doesn't seem like an hour long. They're really snappy with sorry. Really snappy with the topics, and keeping you drawn the whole time, and yeah, it's super cool. So I recommend you watch that. He talks about NFTs, crypto, obviously the metaverse, Facebook changing from Facebook to Meta, and that was the right call for sure. Love or hate Facebook, like I said, but them changing the name to Meta was a good call. It's a cool name. I apologize. I'm just tired. Sometimes talking and I forget to breathe a lot, so it makes me yawn. Well, let me see. Let me look through. Well, I'm gonna end it here, but just some words of wisdom to leave you guys with. 3 things to practice in day-to-day life. 3 very good things that will help you live a happy life is practice tolerance, love, and compassion. and I might dissect those in a future video. But until then, I truly hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, I'm glad. And if you care to support me, continue watching these videos. And if you really want to support me and have some extra funds, I would be blown away with appreciation if anybody could help me with the Patreon in the description, and Pearson podcast clips in the description. And I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of your month, rest of your year, rest of your life. And I will see you all next Monday. Peace.